Jaxson, obviously it was kind of a tale of two halves a little bit for the offense, but how do you personally evaluate how you played today?
At the end of the day, I give it all that I have every time I'm out there. There's definitely things that, as I reflect on, that I wish I could have had back. And just some little easy mistakes that I don't usually make. So, I'm just really just looking forward to getting better. Taking the experiences and mistakes that I made and making sure that I don't make those mistakes again. And so there's like you said, there's kind of a tale of two halves. And I thought the first half I was able to operate well, execute well, and then the second half I think as a whole unit we kind of shot ourselves in the foot and made some mistakes that we don't make. And so I'm just going to take that and learn from it.
Lane said he had a conversation with Luke recently that he was going to be the backup quarterback for this team. I guess I know it's been a wild ride for you and him kind of duking it out. Is it a relief to know that this is kind of your job now?
For me, I take it day by day and just trying to compete. And I know Luke takes it the exact same way, and we push each other, and at the end of the day, we make each other better. This competition of football, it never ends. So I really just try to come out each and every day and do whatever it takes for us to win and be successful. And I know my role, and I'm just going to try to fulfill that each and every day.
Did Lane have a similar conversation with you, naming you the starter one way or the other?
I'm just going to keep that between me and Coach Kiff.
Lane said after the game that it didn't look like a winning locker room, and of course players in here have mentioned the 24-hour rule, but just kind of in the days after kind of having one of those where you win, but you knew it should have been better. I mean, what are those next couple of days like, and how do you kind of overcome that?
Yeah, we hold ourselves to a really high standard. You hear people talk about it all the time about us being a team that hasn't really played a lot with each other, so there's a lot of new pieces, and we're growing day by day. Quite honestly, we don't know the level that we can play at and that we're capable at. You see it in each game that we have spurts, and I think for us, like, we're really just trying to be consistent. So it's frustrating to see how we played in the first half versus the second half, because like I said, you kind of just saw the different spurts of it. So quite honestly, in the locker room, we weren't very happy. That's not the standard that we want to play at each and every day, and we got to come back. And for this week coming forward, it's a big one, and it's a huge step for our team as a whole. So we talked about as a team, like, we're getting in tomorrow and we're starting the week off the way that we need to start it off, and we're going to put everything that we have, because we can't afford to have little hiccups like we did tonight. So we're going to just push our foot forward and keep moving forward as a team, and really just try to clean up on everything that we can.
You mentioned the second half of how you're going to try to learn from that. What's your confidence level that this group will be able to do that? Because daunting schedule in the SEC, a bunch of big opponents coming up with you all holding yourself to that high standard. What's your level of confidence that you guys will be able to do that and turn the page and learn from this?
I'm definitely very confident. I could tell you that I don't think my confidence would be as high as it is if I didn't feel the way that I saw how the other guys felt and how I felt walking into the locker room. That we know that second half's not how we finish. That's not how we do things around here. And I'm just really excited to see our response for this coming week, because I think that when you have a mindset of that you have to get better and you got to grow, and there's a sense of urgency as a team, which I feel, I think that makes me really confident moving forward.
I'm not sure how many running attempts you had today, but it was a lot, and you took a lot of contact. Do you feed off contact like that, and how are you feeling?
Feel great. I've kind of said this in interviews before, that I view myself as a football player before I view myself as a quarterback, and that's kind of how I was raised. My dad played safety at Utah, and he kind of, growing up, he thought I was going to follow in his footsteps and play safety. So I learned that physicality of the game from an early age, and for me, I understand that there's definitely times where I can be better at taking unnecessary blows off of my body, because it's hard to go week by week taking that many hits. But at the end of the day, like, situation based. I'm gonna do whatever I can, just move the sticks and keep the offense moving. And we have a +2 mentality here. And if that requires me to run through somebody, that's kind of just what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I just think that it's a good learning experience because there's definitely times where I could have been smarter. And so yeah.
Jaxson, when Caleb goes down and Zach goes down, and obviously Jalen's not playing, what are you saying and some of the other leaders, veterans on this team saying on the sideline to try and keep the offense stable?
Try and just build each other up. Football there's just a lot of unexpected things that can happen at any given moment. So, people say that you have to be ready at any moment. That's really true. So, you try to just keep everybody engaged at all times because you never know when someone's going to have to step up big. And like I said, this is a learning experience, I think, for each and every one of us because when one guy goes down, there's another guy that has to fill that role and got to do your part to execute for the offense. And yeah, so we just gotta keep building each other up and just do everything we can to just keep the morale high.
It was really kind of Quinshon back there in the second half, and he ended up with 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. I guess through his first 4 games, how would you kind of rate how he's been? It sounds like everybody's been really impressed.
Yeah, I've known it from the get-go with Q. From the first time that I met him, just I tell people that he reminds me so much of a Nick Chubb or Saquon Barkley, a guy that, he can have such a huge impact on the team and do so many great things. So, and he should still be in high school. He's so young. So his future is so bright, and I know that he's gonna do everything that he can to fulfill his dreams because he comes to work every single day with the right mentality to do everything in his power to get better and do whatever he can to help the team. So I've been super impressed with him.
With some of the unknowns and just some of the new faces obviously coming to this year, of course, you being one of them, and I know you said that, that this team has looked great, but, just only in spurts. But just through 4 games, competition aside, what have you learned the most about this team?
I would say a big one is just competitiveness. Walking into the locker room after the game, you saw guys that were frustrated because of, how we viewed going into halftime, of how we viewed finishing the game. And I just think that we got a lot of really tough guys on the team who it's crazy how fast we've been able to form a culture together in just this short time. But I have a whole bunch of confidence and respect for each and every one of the guys because at the previous place that I was at, we had a good relationship as a team, off the field, but I didn't see the same standard that people hold themselves to, and just being new. So I think we're all just super hungry, and we have just so much more room to grow, which is exciting, and we got to take those next steps to fulfill those things.
Jaxson, you mentioned a couple weeks ago how the whole competition with you and Luke was a whirlwind, and mentally it was a tough thing to get through, but you got through it, and now you won the job. But what would you say that experience was like, and how has it kind of shaped you and helped you grow as a football player, you think, the week-to-week QBQ battle that went into the season?
Yeah, it's grown me a lot as a quarterback, but I think it's grown me a ton as just a person of just trying to just persevere through the good and the bad and just being resilient. Luke's such a good quarterback, and he has so many talents that I've learned from just competing with him each and every day. And like I said, it's a competition every single time you step on the football field. So for me, I still view it as it's still going on, and I got to hold myself to an even higher standard to do all that I can to help the team fill the potentials of it all. So I compete every single day, and I never feel like it's over. So, I think, going forward, we're just going to continue to push each other and make each other better. And we have such a good relationship off the field that, it's a fun atmosphere to be a part of.
All right, thanks, Jack.
Thank you, guys.